Go ahead.
Obviously, 2 months ago, this seemed crazy. The thought of this being game week and everything that you guys have been through, from the conference suspending a season to bringing it back and everything. Just how much of an accomplishment do you feel your guys have already been able to have, just getting to this point and being ready for week one of the season?
Well, it's been a unique experience, no doubt. Very, very proud of our players, very proud of our staff. I think it's been, I know as far as the coaching end of it and the preparation end of it, been probably the most challenging thing I've ever done because, I'm big on complexity and organization, make simplicity for operations, and organization has just been thrown out the window. You don't know from one day to the next who's at practice, who's under quarantine, who's this and that. And then the other thing, it just forces you, schematically, like each year you got to understand for 30 something years, man, you have this regiment that, and obviously if you don't adapt it to your players, you're not going to be successful. So you got to adapt each year to the skills and talents of your players. But it's really hard to come back and say, you know what, unlike any time I've ever been coaching, we're not going to be able to do but half of what we can normally do for a first game. And if you don't do that, you're going to have a hard time. That's why you see a lot of these big scores, 70 something points, are guys with tons of penalties, tons of turnovers, teams playing great one week and really bad the next. So that's what we've got to make sure that we do. And so, but I'm really proud of our guys, how we've handled it. I still like, I came to work. We've been working late hours. So I came early, I think yesterday morning and on Monday morning. And I said, man, I hope none of our guys went to any parties this weekend. Because we're working our tail off trying to get ready to play. And you don't want to have somebody do something stupid that, and just trying to keep everybody healthy. You don't control all this stuff. And so I still, I'm still trying to just keep my head down and focus and hoping we can, play a football game.
Where do you guys think you're at? I mean, you been in football for so long, and you have a gauge usually at this point before your first game where you're at. But how do you feel about readiness for Fresno?
Yeah, I think we're in the same boat they're in. They probably had the least amount of practice. I think it's going to be, I'm really trying to make sure, with our younger coaches that we're really smart about what we do. And I think that's going to be the key in this first game. Whoever wins the turnover battle will win the game. We can't beat ourselves with stupid penalties. So we're fully capable. We have, obviously we got guys and very, very capable. Obviously the strength of our team up front on the offensive line. I think we got a really good receiver core, really good quarterback, and really good running back. So, we're a veteran team offensively, even though, we graduated, I think, the top 3 receivers. But, the guys we got some guys. We got quality players that can run, that are good players at receiver. At running back as well, I think we've got a really strong backfield. Feel really good about Chevin. We take care of the football and don't have stupid penalties. Feel good about where we're at there offensively. That's probably the biggest danger. The biggest danger is in execution. And if you try to do too much, or if you beat yourself, and that's been the biggest thing. We don't want to turn the football over. That's something that is a big step, and we want to get takeaways. So I think offensively, that's probably the biggest danger is just shooting yourself in the foot. So that's going to be important, that our plan and everything we do, that we don't do that. And I feel confident our guys are going to be ready to play. I know they're excited. Defensively, it's probably where it's the biggest difference. It just absolutely, we felt like that. We're trying to keep as much similarities as we can with the attack and 4-down stuff. But it's hard because, we just feel like, we want to get better. We want to be a team that's not giving up, 33, 34 points a game. And so that's where the most change has came as far as just the terminology. And even though there's a lot of similarities with, they didn't attack as much, obviously out, but they did run similar front stuff. So, just changes in what you call things and coverage and language. That's where the challenging part is. And then, special teams, that's an area that really I think should be a strength for us. We got a whole bunch of guys that can run, linebackers, safety type guys. That's where we want to win special teams. We want to win the turnover ratio deal, and we don't want to beat ourselves with stupid penalties. We do that, and I feel really good about where we're at.
For this offense to work at its peak, how many plays do you expect this offense to be on the field?
God, see, that's what's hard, because it's almost hard for me to answer that, because I hate even answering it the way I'm going to answer it, because I've never answered it this way in 30-something years. I'm a no-huddle, fast-paced tempo guy, but how fast can we go and operate efficiently with the minimal amount of practice that we've had? And that's going to be very difficult to do. So whatever that miles an hour is, if it's, I'd like for it to be 90, 95. But if it's, 50, right, or if it's 17, whatever we can execute is what we got to make sure we're doing. I think that's going to be the biggest challenge in this game, because, it's hard for me. I know the value. I've been fortunate to been a part of some great teams and won a bunch of football games, and we've produced everywhere I've been over 36.7 or something like that points a game. And man, the no huddle and playing, we want to play 90, 95 plays a game. And to do that, you got to be real efficient with the football. You've got to be able to make sure you got a big time high completion rate in what you're doing. You got to be able to run the football as well. And then we want to play 65, 70 plays on defense. And so that's the number that we're trying to shoot for, but you got to go fast to do that. And how fast we can go right now, it's tough, because that's a question every day our offensive staff is asking me, and I'm pushing them to go faster. So I don't want to give them any fuel to use against me. So I don't want to say much more than that, but I'd like to go a lot faster. We're going to go. I can tell you that.
Coach, this Saturday will mark your first game coached since 2017. So with everything you've gone through from then to now, what are some of the emotions that you're going through as game day approaches?
Just grateful, grateful for the opportunity. I told our players that, nobody cares what you did last year or last week. I mean, you got to go out. I love this sport because you got to go out and earn it every day. And so these guys have worked extremely hard. Our staff has worked extremely hard in a very difficult circumstance, but it's been the same for everybody. I mean, now there's different areas of the country that are different, it's not all, the same, but it's, everybody's in this circumstance, and it's how you look at things. Do you look at them as obstacles or opportunities? And so, man, the word that comes to mind for me is just so grateful that I get an opportunity to coach these young men here. And two, for me, just selfishly, I got a lot of people, the years I took off, it really was a great reflection. I would have never done it voluntarily. I can tell you that. But it was probably the best thing I'd done in my life, because it just taught me, man, how blessed I am to get to do this, and how fortunate. And I wanted to find the right situation that fit me. And, I'm a blue collar guy, I grew up that way. And I tend to gravitate to people that like the grind, that like the physicality, and that like that. And these kids here in this program is one that I think has been a smooth transition for me, because they embrace that. I like the blue collar mentality of these guys. And so, man, I'm just grateful. I just wanted to get here. It's like having Christmas canceled for 2 years straight. I'm so ready for it to get here. It's unbelievable. And to really have it taken away and think this was no way going to happen. I'm telling you, when it got postponed, I thought, no way. I didn't even think we'd play in the spring. I thought it was going to be so difficult to pull off, and so, man, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to go out, and I'm not grateful to go out and show up either. Man, I'm grateful for the chance to go out and compete and help these kids compete to be the best, and help them to compete to be champions.
How exciting is it that your first game as the coach of the University of Hawaii football team is against its biggest conference rival? I have the returning players and the returning coaches that are on staff talk to you about what this game means to this program, Hawaii and Fresno State?
Yeah, I know it. I know exactly. Obviously it's the most important game. Obviously it's our first game. Obviously with an abbreviated season, each opportunity is its value is tenfold. But yeah, I know the history behind it. I don't get much into like yesterday we're sharing how it's. I guess we've had difficulty beating them in the recent years or whatever. I don't think. I think that's all. If you let that in, then it becomes a part of your mindset. I don't care what the weather's like. I don't care if it's raining, snowing, sleeting, whatever. I'm not going to worry about things I can't control. And tradition matters, though. Tradition matters, man. And going on the road and winning in college football is the absolute hardest thing there is to do. You got to be really mentally tough to do that, especially in this circumstance that we're in. And the bottom line that I try to do is I don't really spend much time thinking about those other things. Now, I have gone back and watched games back 2017, 2018, obviously because their head coach was there as the offensive coordinator at that time. So I have watched those games and saying they're very explosive. We're going to play against as good a tailbacks you're going to play all year long, probably as good a receiving core. They're very, very explosive offensively. So we got to make sure that we don't give them cheap ones, obviously. And in both years, 2018 and 2019, it was big plays that decided the game and turnovers. So it's going to be the same thing as far as what's going to take to win the game. But I've been really approaching our guys with the mindset that you got to go in, you got to play next snap mentality, go in and max out on every single set there is. And our guys know what it means. I mean, they know the value of it. They know how important it is. And I just don't like putting anything else in their head. I mean, it's a new year. It doesn't matter, what happened last year. They don't care what I did at Arizona State. They care what I do for them, and they want my best. And so, that's what we're focused on. And I think that this game has nothing to do with the opponent. I mean, it has everything to do with us and us not beating ourselves. That's the biggest thing. That's not they're a good football team. I think they're picked to beat us. Somebody told me that today, which, who cares? My deal is that, we like stuff like that. They came in and told me that day, like, God, can you believe that? I'm going like, I don't need that to motivate me. None of that stuff matters. What matters is us and us establishing discipline as a football team. And if we'll do that and be sound fundamentally, I like our chances against anybody. These kids are going to fight. They're going to battle. These kids have had success here. You can tell that. Obviously, we're thin in a lot of places. We got to stay healthy. Obviously, the lack of practice has been a challenge, but no excuses, man. We got to go out there and we got to figure out a way to win.
You were there
mentioned
when Jay Kaner was there. When you were at Arizona State, when Jay Kaner was being recruited by Washington, did you cross paths in recruiting? Was he ever on your radar? And what do you know about him?
Yeah, I mean, there are always those lists every year, and you look at them and evaluate them. I think when he was being recruited, I think we already at that time we had 4 quarterbacks, and we weren't really. I didn't recruit him hard. I didn't. But he was a highly touted guy. I remember that. I just remember at Washington, all I remember was Browning. You know what I'm saying? That's how you don't really focus on the backup much, but he is a very talented guy. I can tell you, I've watched some of his Washington plays. I've gone and researched him. He is a guy that can extend plays extremely well, extremely accurate with a ball, can make all the throws, come back to the field from the back hash, really accurate on the deep ball. I think he's a really good quarterback. So, it's going to be really important. I think the big thing in the game is us not giving up cheap ones. That's going to be the most important thing. And be disciplined, be sound in what we're doing.
You had a keynote at Arizona State. What was he like back then as a walk-on quarterback, and what was it like reuniting with him?
Yeah, it was a brief time there at Arizona State. He probably played a little bit of scout team quarterback for me back then, which is not a good job probably. But no, he's a great kid. I know his dad. His dad's one of the best football coaches, I think, in college football. He's probably the best secondary coach that I've ever been around. I've ever listened to talk ball. And so he's a coach's kid. He's the kind of guy you want on your team. That's why this group of kids, I really like them. I mean, they come to work every day. They bust their tail, but but Kama's a guy that, he's a coach's kid, and that's it's a different deal. They have a different perspective and understanding of things, and he's had a really good camp and has competed really well. He's that's the kind of young man you want on your football team. But I really have, I just remember him being there, and it wasn't very long, and he was very young. So he wound up, I think, transferring here or going to junior college or something like that. I don't really remember much of that. I guess I'm getting old.
You mentioned you're thin in a lot of places, but can you just mention a couple where you feel like you got to build in areas of the team?
I'll just tell you what my evaluation is. My deal is each day we're trying to get better, but I'll tell you what my evaluation is. Obviously, we feel good about where we're at on our offensive line. We feel good about our first level at running back and at receiver. Obviously, probably O-line and receiver, we have the most depth. Obviously, we want to develop more depth at quarterback, more depth at running back. So that's what I would tell you about offense. Defensively, the name of the game is being able to rush the quarterback. So we're, obviously within there, we need more pass rusher type guys. You can't have enough cover guys. So we're probably pretty thin in the secondary. Probably deepest part on defense is probably our linebacker core. We have a lot of, at our three linebacker positions, we've got, pretty deep, at least two deep there. So probably where we're the thinnest is on defense, at the pass rusher position. And then you want to be elite at being able to play coverage, especially on the outside. So, that's kind of what be my evaluation when I came in looking at all the film.
Right.
How's Panay fitting in at the new position at defensive end?
Yeah, man, he's a great young man. He was voted as a leader of his unit at linebacker, in which we call our line, which is a guy that stands on the ball on the other line of scrimmage, which is like a defensive end for us. He's a great kid, great spirit, comes from a great family. He's probably one of the kids that I've connected with the quickest with. He just got a great spirit about him. But yeah, he's done really well. He's still, I think, got a ways to go. With the training disruptions, coming off the injury, I still don't think he's 100%, but he's close to that. As far as just getting, I think he's 100%, back and cleared from the injury. I think getting his speed back, getting the change direction, and just football speed, not having many reps. He'll continue to get better and better as the season moves on.
Just got to ask you real quick. New Mexico made the news today about not playing this week. Is that something you're even thinking about yet, or just something that even crossed your mind?
Man, I just don't want to hear that about Hawaii and Fresno. That's all. I hate that. That's my deal, is that everybody says, man, can you believe it's here? And I say, well, it ain't here yet. I want to get on that field and play a game and then get to the next one. And hopefully we'll be able to. That's what I tell the players, man. We just got to work really, really hard. And it's really not many people understand. I never in my wildest dream could have been prepared for how hard it is to get 115 people to stay 6 feet apart and wear masks and dress them, train, lift, athletic training, and practice football is a major challenge. And so it's just important. And I'm proud of our guys because we've done a pretty good job, and we just got to keep doing a good job as we start into this season, as we travel and we do those things of being very, very smart. If we do that, we're going to get to play football and compete for a championship. If not, then that's not going to happen for you. So my heart goes out to them. Derek Wareheim, their offensive coordinator, coached for me and played for me at University of Tulsa, and those are great people there. And so I hate that they're experiencing that.
When is your last round of testing, and are you guys, knock on wood, planning to leave Friday?
I think we have a test tomorrow. I just show up and do what they tell me. So we have a lot of tests. I know that. I think it's 3 times a week or something like that. So we have a test tomorrow, and then I think we have a test before we leave. So I'm not sure when those things happen. Derek probably share with you when that is.
The guys you're leaving behind, do you have a plan for next week with them? Obviously, you're going to be on the road the whole time. Are you having practices for the guys here, and you're just going to, are all the locations planned for next week as well?
Yeah, no, our coaches aren't here, so we can't practice. Obviously, that wouldn't, we wouldn't have anybody to coach them. But they'll be lifting and training, and making sure that they're, following the protocols and doing the right things. So as we come back, we remain healthy.
Okay, guys.
I know that
Last
you
question.
I noticed you moved a lot of guys around, like corners became safeties, linebackers, ends. Is that just the way to get more speed on the defense, athleticism? Is that sort of the goal of this defense, just to get more athletes and, I guess, quickness out there?
Who did I move from safety to corner?
Oh no. I mean, you went the other way. You've taken guys who
Corner
like safety.
safety.
Yeah, and then moved positions where they're smaller but faster, where like safeties became sort of linebackers like Bethley, linebackers became ends.
Oh, I know what you're saying. I got you. Yeah.
More speed.
Gotcha. So, really, that's just trying to get the best guys on the field. What I try to do is we spent time researching and studying the things that our best players on defense did, and then we tried to design a system that fits them. And I can tell you, I've never ran. What we're doing here is not what I've done anywhere else. So, that's where the big challenge is. It's been a learning experience, and what drives our scheme is going to be our personnel and trying to put them in the best position to be successful. So that's why you see that. And we want to be fast, and you got to decide, like, are you going to, who are the best guys to be out there, and what best scheme best fits you. And so that's why you see us obviously wanting to get a whole bunch faster. And our big focus is giving up, trying to, put speed on the field. So we're not giving up as many big plays and able to do a better job stopping the run. That's the big thing. And then somehow being able to affect the passer, with a, 4-man pass rush.